Kia ora team, Claire here from My Mortgage, and today I want to talk about something quite specific that's going on at the moment, which is considering whether or not you should continue fixing if you are selling. So I've got a couple of clients in this situation heading into the end of 2024 where they're looking to sell prior to Christmas, but they might have a fixed rate coming up in September or October. So what do they do with their fixed rate? Well, firstly, the big consideration is what is your next move? Making sure that we can line you up to get you approved and in a position to be able to make an offer on that next home that you want to do. So that next action that you're going to take is looking at pre-approval. But what do you do with your fixed rate in the interim? In my view, it depends whether or not you're wanting to pay more upfront or potentially pay more when you sell. So I'll explain that a little bit more. So if you let your fixed rate elapse, so essentially you go onto a floating rate, with most banks, that's going to be somewhere in the late 7% range. So it's a bit more expensive than you've been paying up until now. But you have all the flexibility in the world. So if you sell a property in the next 2 or 3 months and repay your loan, there's no penalty for that. You get to repay, you get to do whatever you like, essentially. If you fix for, say, 6 months, which is a much cheaper rate at the moment, that's sitting somewhere in that late 6% range, you may potentially sell while you're still fixed. So to give you an example, we might be having a fixed rate on the 1st of October. You fix in for 6 months, and that takes you through to April, and you might actually sell before then. So then you open up the potential for break fees. So if you need to repay that loan when you're still fixed, a bank can charge you break fees. So those break fees could be significant because you are breaking a fixed term as rates are still tracking down. But you only have to pay that fee when you break, in which case you'll probably have the money from the sale of your house. So that's why I say, do you want to pay more up front or do you want to pay more at the end of the process? So that is a consideration if you're looking to sell. The third thing to consider is, will you buy at about the same time as you sell? So often people will make some changes just before Christmas. They might sell an older property, you might buy a new one, they might buy a slightly bigger one, they might be downsizing. There's a whole lot of considerations. So you may be able to transfer your loan, and this depends a little bit on the bank and your situation, and also it means that you have to do everything on the same day. So you have to settle both properties at the same time. And that's not always possible. Sometimes it is. So what's really important here is getting some advice. So working through a process with one of our advisors will help you establish what you can do, what you should do, and what the pros and cons are of each. So reach out to us, mymortgage.co.nz/contact, book in a call with one of our advisors, and they'll be able to work through what's best for you. Talk soon.